Alright, let's go. It's Puddle Cakes here. I'm gonna do my little snippet of my perfect murderball, uh, archer style, and we are actually starting with the Tier 3 or Gen 3 archers this week. I'm actually gonna talk about Ramesses, which is probably considered the strongest archer in a long time. Probably a couple years almost. And we'll go over skills a little bit. We'll go over not only is Ramesses strong in fighting PvP, but PvE also. I love to use him, and I see him do better than Mina and many other things on forts. It's insane. So, first of all, we'll go over the skills for Ramesses. I actually tried to queue up a bar for it, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting any people. Probably busy doing other stuff. So with Ramesses is active skill is for the next 2 seconds the target takes additional damage per second of 1,000 and the defense is decreased by 30%. Meanwhile, it is inflicted with a heal immune effect for 2 seconds. This is a great skill. Probably one of my favorite skills because if it works out right, when you're in a murder ball, it actually can decrease the defense for other skills too. It's a really good skill. Not only that, the heal immune effect, probably one of the best next to Saladin and other skills. Well, Saladin pretty much, but it's a great skill. The second skill is something that is a really good skill, but stinks because it wasn't really included in the stat sheet, I think, before the latest battle log. But the 40% increased attack damage is substantial. Third skill, when troops led by this commander consist only of archers, they take 30% less skill damage. Huge. When attacked, they have a 10% chance to gain 40% attack and 40% march speed for 3 seconds. Now, I'm not sure if this was always in here, worded this way, but it still is massive and explains why Ramesses is such a good tank type commander. Now, I'll tell you guys a secret. In Ceroli, I go tank with Ramesses and YSG, and the reason why is because of this skill right here. So every 10 seconds for 3 seconds, I'm getting 40% attack and 40% march speed. It's really good. I don't think people actually look at it that way because they just see Ramesses and attack it right away. So generally when I'm in field fighting and I see something attacking me, I will take my Ramesses and target that because I got that bonus and I use it against them pretty much. Fourth skill, normal attacks of the troops led by this commander have a 10% chance to heal a portion. It's not extreme, but it is pretty helpful. And the thing that stinks is, I swear it's not 10%. This is very random percentage. It doesn't proc very often, but they do grant 40% increased defense for 33 seconds also, and that is significant. The expertise is what actually makes the main skill go from 800 damage to 1,000 damage per take, and then 25% defense increase to 30% defense increase. So, I got a couple people. I guess I can showcase one thing that's kind of neat and new here quick. Go here, actually see if people, look at that, all archers. I don't think people understand being an archer commander, doing rallies. I get these damn things here all the time. Excuse my French, but oh my gosh. I swear I get calves. I've even get siege because people just try to irritate me. It's pretty funny. But looks like we got 6 minutes to wait, which is fine. We can test it out, and I can show you how kind of neat it is. Um, I think I went to Myris for this rally, and the reason why I went to Myris is actually because uh, the Bastion skills. So if I do YSG, I don't actually get to use this skill, and this skill is pretty significant to use with any one secondary or that's not YSG. So it's pretty fun to use, but there's my two skills. Um, but yeah, so let's talk about Ramesses, and we'll go over rallies and field fighting first, and murder balls. So as we went over the skills, you could see two skills that make him extremely tanky and lower the defense of anyone that he's attacking. That is pretty significant. In a murder ball situation, that it's also significant enough because you're lowering the defense for those 2 seconds, which also lowers the defense for other things. Now, I went over this a little bit in other, I think the Tomatoes video, and the thing that is interesting about defense reduction and attack bonuses and things like that is that the only time they generally stack is accessories, stack with passives, stack with actives. But an active and another active is not going to stack. A passive and another passive should not stack, and so forth and so on. So it also depends on the wording. I think technically Sun Tzu's and YSG's spell damage skills stack, but I don't think they're additive. I think they're multiplicative. But yeah, 20% increase skill damage there, and then this is yeah. So I'm pretty sure that this was gone over a long time ago and asked the dev, and these do stack, but I think for defense reduction and health reduction and stuff like that, they don't generally stack. And I think I asked like 2 or 3 different Lilith people, and it was interesting because I've done a lot of battle log tests, and I couldn't figure out why they weren't stacking, and that explains a lot. So, but if you pair Ramesses with Tomyris and you get them both to proc, you are pretty much lowering their defense by 30%, and Tomyris's, which I think is also crap, should have more prepared, which is also 30%. So you're going off of their base defense and lowering that 60%, which is insane. You are pretty much lowering someone's total defense by almost 1/3. What I mean by that is I've gone over this a little bit in other videos too, but if you look at here, so you have defense, 216 plus 276. This is pretty much what you get from your research. So if you take this and you take 60% of that, that's pretty much what, like 95 or something like that, and then add it to this, that's pretty much what your defense is there. And then you can see how significant it is. You went from 492 down to 366 pretty much, or 376. It's a big jump. Big jump. So that is one thing. The other reason why I really like Ramesses is that a lot of archer commanders, the other bad things about other archer commanders when it deals to rallying and stuff like that is they're front loaded with skill damage. So like Edward Tamiris, a lot of skill damage, not really that attack damage bonus that you get. And what ends up happening is you hit really, really hard once every 10 to 15 seconds, but then in between there is kind of mediocre. When you add Ramesses into that, you have higher attack damage, higher white damage, and you have high skill damage, which ends up being more damage overall. That's why, like, you'll see a lot of Ramesses YSGs because the damage is pretty significant. So, field fighting. Ramesses can be matched up with anything, really, in field fighting. Ramesses El Cid, Ramesses YSG, Ramesses Tamiris, they are all good. They all have their pros and cons. I personally like to do Ramesses with a tankier commander, like El Cid, or even Artemisia every now and then. If I feel like I'm fully control of the ping and the lag and stuff like that, I will do Ramesses YSG, but it's not my favorite because it generally gets targeted a lot. The thing that I do have, though, that helps me offset that less tankiness, is my gear. My gear gives me an insane amount of health, defense, and some attack. So this alone gives me enough where I can run a YSG secondary, and I get extremely positive results. So my murder ball, generally because of the way my gear is right now, I do go with a Ramesses YSG. But if I am running, let's say, if I'm doing a different style of murder ball, like even art murder balls, sometimes I will run with Ramesses secondary to Artemisia. And I'll probably have Artemisia's video out tomorrow or the day after, and I'll kind of show you why, because it's really good. I think Artemisia, when she first came out, got slept on pretty hard, just like Tamiris, and they are both extremely strong commanders. So the other thing that I wanted to go over really quick is so rallies are a pretty significant part of this game because Ramesses goes well with so many commanders in rallying. Tamiris is good, but can get swarmed and can take a lot of damage. YSG is good and does a lot of damage and a little bit tanky, but the really cool thing that's coming out is with Nebuchadnezzar is going to be that extra tankiness when rallying. I'm excited to try them both out. I'm excited to show people and then show how I'm going to end up using them. But last thing is I'm rallying a level 14 fort. I do have pretty good tech. It's only 1.4 million rallied, but you can see the damage just from the attack damage. Even without tech, I was doing barbs pretty easily. Oof, oof. The damage is disgusting. So in one skill hit, I went from 100 to 50%. But that's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions, if you're scared of trying like barb forts or whatever, try Ramesses on Ceroli. Oh, it is so good. It's really good for the entire group. And if you got Kira, you can actually do Ramesses Kira. That works out really good too. If you have any questions, message me anytime. Puddle Cakes in game. I'm on Shinchi's Discord. Puddle Cakes there. Send me comments on here. I'm starting to try and do tags a little bit better. Learning ways to get my information out there to try and help everyone I can. But thank you. Have a nice night. Peace.